Hello viewers, we are going to share our views on the topic taxed goods and services versus free goods and services. Before we proceed the main topic, we would like to congratulate the Nobel Prize winner of 2024 in economics, named as Mr. Daron, Mr. Johnson, and Mr. Robinson. These economists have won Nobel Prize on the topic inequality of wealth and income, where a small ruling class owns a mass or massive wealth and resources in the process of development in connivance with the state institutions and politics. Here, these economists have also clearly demarcated the role played by the state institutions and politics, where further, these economists have also clearly defined the distinction between the inclusive economic development model and extractive economic developmental model. In inclusive economic developmental model, society is a gainer, while in extractive economic developmental model, the small ruling class. Why extracting the mass resources and wealth with the or in connivance with the state institutions and out of their political maneuvering. This is the nutshell of Nobel Prize winner in economics. Here we have presented this vision before our viewers because our viewers should judge that in Indian context to what extent our political and economic situation is prevailing in the context or within the thought of economic and the Nobel Prize winner thoughts. This is the situation. Now we are going on the main topic where in Indian context we see that the economics and politics are on war path in the midst of taxed goods and services versus free or freebies or free goods and services. Here we have said that GST versus GSF means taxed goods and services versus free goods and services. In this context, we see in Indian context that whether it is a hugely tax loaded freebies or whether it is a freebies loaded economics means here that whether it is a free hugely taxed freebies economy or economics or whether it is a freebies loaded politics. In both situations, the all burdens are borne none other than our voters as consumer. Here we should say that the capital which play important role through capital formation in the economic development, where tax plays a major role in creation of capital because huge taxes are levied on the people, on the voters. This is the situation. In this situation, The we see that the hugely taxed free goods and services and freebies or free goods and services are becoming a huge burden in Indian context. Here we see that our voters as consumer, the economics, the politics and the institutions or state institutions come closer to give a shape for the economy for their convenience. Here, in coming Delhi Assembly election, we see that voters, as a consumer, will take decision or will get opportunity to choose one champion in the midst of two champions of hugely taxed freebies dream sellers. On the one hand is Modi-led BJP and on the other hand is Kejriwal-led Aam Aadmi Party. But here see that the Delhi voters is or seems divided into two camps. One camp followers are the well-off section of the Delhi society, while other camp followers are the relatively badly off section of the Delhi society. But the political differences may be in between two classes, in between two camps, but their common objective is to raise their standard of living. They are struggling to raise their living standard rather than making a tool for the politician. This is the situation. Here we see that the freebies is unfair before the election. In conducting free and fair election within the purview or within the jurisdiction of representative of People's Act 1951, what after election the same freebies is or become fair and are justified why the government in power by executing and implementing social welfare measures where free goods and services are provided as a tool to their politics. So voter becomes a tool for the politicians in this context. This is the situation. In this situation, the government levies huge taxes on the well-off section of society to pay free goods and services or to maximizing providing better goods and services to the voters as a consumer to get a political gain. Here the formula is simple, and this is a form of progressive taxation policy, while in regressive taxation policy we see the situation is just reverse to it. In progressive taxation policy, the society is gainer, while in regressive taxation policy, the small ruling class, why extracting mass wealth and resources, why or with the connivance of the state institutions and by maneuvering the politics. This is the situation. Here we see that in the regressive economic policies, our private consumption becomes lower, and finally the our investments becomes also lower. So our big position in terms of investments, especially the foreign and domestic investments policies linkages with inward looking and regressive economic policies linkages have badly affected our economic growth. In this situation, the government regressive, inward looking, protectionist economic policies have made India a marketplace for foreign goods and services, and out of it, our weaker economic policies have made our political and economic diplomacy weaker in the eyes of global political and economic diplomats. Here we see that globally our scientists, technologists, and economists have taken vow to eliminate the poverty, income, and wealth inequality through economic eradication of economic inequality by providing or to eliminate poverty, elimination of pollution, elimination of malnutrition, elimination of other types of disparities such as in the field of education and medical facilities. And for it, our politicians, our government in power provide maximum free goods and services as their political tool to turn the voters as in favor of the government, who is providing maximum free goods and services, and this is considered as a corrupt practices in the name of or within the purview of representatives of People's Representative Act 1951 through or as a word unfair practices before election. But our politicians after election provide such type of things. Even in these days, before elections, this such type of freebies promises are made by our politicians. In this situation, we see that our economic development suffers, and here the social welfare measures where maximization of or providing free goods and services to the voters as consumers have become a political tool which provides and which becomes a hurdle in achieving sustainable developmental goal. That's why the free goods and services eats away our scarce tax collected capital, and our free goods and services eats away maximum capital, and in this way only least are left for the economic development. In this situation, our voters as a consumer is a king, and they should certainly consider these things, whether free-wise or free goods and services or maximum free goods and services in the form of free electricity, free traveling, free cooking gas, and other type of free facilities are provided by the government in power. But finally, These burdens in the form of taxes are borne none other than our voters as a consumer. So our voters and consumers should think it properly in the context or within the context of Nobel Prize winner in economics of 2024 thoughts, where our Nobel Prize winner economists have presented a thought where the a small ruling class own the mass or massive resources and wealth by manipulating the state institutions through maneuvering their politics, where the voters as consumers are made a political tool of the government or the political parties. This is the situation. So our Delhi voters should pay attention towards it because they are the final person as a consumer, as a voter to pay taxes for the to run the government. Thanks, a lot of thanks.